Check, check. 1, 2. Oh, I gotta close my bathroom door. Hold on. Although I do like that cheetah, but hold on. So, what is going on, world? This is LA Prepper, and I'm gonna spend the next half an hour trying to get this zipper started. It's not a brand new jacket, but I have barely worn this jacket. Okay, I've worn it a little bit, but the point is the zipper broke within a couple weeks of me buying this jacket. The Champion, uh, I think they call it a quarter zip. Maybe it's a half zip. Anyways, some amount of zip, but now it's a no zip. It's a Champion no zip. Like a really nice material, kind of like an active material, polyester cotton blend. But they put this 2 cent zipper on it, and it would be one thing if it opened up and I could get it back in and whatever, but it's damn near impossible to start. Just thinking about it, what I might be able to do is get it started and then put some stitches below it so it never goes down this low again. The thing is, you have to like hold the bottom while you're zipping up, but you have to hold this other side into it. And I'm not going to talk about zippers during this entire live stream, but y'all know how it is. I don't schedule my live streams, so as a result, I'm kind of picking up whatever the internet can throw me out of my 200 odd subscribers, which, to be honest, I've kind of been neglecting as of late. I'd like to say that work is the main excuse for that, but to be honest, I could be putting in a little more energy into the YouTubes, and that's kind of why I'm here. Because to be honest, I'm just a little bit sort of torn which way to go with my prepping. I'm not. I'm still an aspiring prepper. I suppose I don't consider myself a prepper. Ah, die bullfrog with the appropriate joke. Yes. Well, I don't like cats for a lot of reasons. Now, it's not necessarily cat-borne disease, but it is. I think it was flea-borne disease. And if I ever go to someone's house with like a cat, I guarantee you, if they only have one flea on them, that flea will jump on and bite me. Fleas love me. Mosquitoes love me. Insects like me a lot more than I like them. Um, so yeah. Also, one thing I think that's really gross. What's up, Will? Gross about cats. People with cats let their cats walk on like everything, like on their counters, on their tables, on all over their clothes. Like I don't mind cats so much, but I don't want a cat all over my shit. Like like if you're ever at someone's house and you're playing a game or you're having a meal or something, the cat is gonna jump up on the counter, on the table, on people's laps, and it's like, why is it okay for a cat to do this, but it's not okay for a dog to do this? Just because a cat can doesn't mean like it should. Cats are kind of independent too, and I respect that. But you know what I think I have to do? I think I can do this if I take it off. Forgive my wardrobe change. I was wearing a. All right. Maybe I will have. Dogs are heavier. Gravity is a bitch. It's true, but plenty of dogs are healthy enough that they could, a full size like collie or golden retriever or German shepherd or your average American dog can jump up on a table without too much effort. Just people train their dogs. They're like, no, get off the table. Your dog, your animals stay off the table. But for some reason, cat owners are like, oh, well, the cat just kind of goes where it wants. Like, what? Anyways, not trying to hate if you have cats. Cats are cool, but um, I don't know. I don't want cats on my counter, on my tables. I want to be able to see, with the dog, you could put like a plate of bacon on the counter, and most dogs, if you've done any amount of training, will probably like they'll be sniffing it and they'll be right there, but they might not like jump on the table and steal it. Golden retrievers, Labradors, I don't know. They tend to be a little more sneaky, but maybe not sneaky, but just they don't give a fuck. They're just hungry. But you leave a plate of chicken on the counter and walk into the bathroom, 99 times out of 100, you come back, a cat is on the table eating the fucking food. No, not having that. I want to be able to leave food out on the counter and not have animals come get it. I wouldn't mind cooking some good food for my cat. I actually, if I get a dog, I really would cook a lot of food for him, not just for health reasons, but just because I think, because I think it's nice. You would never want to cook your dog a steak. If you have a dog and you never cooked your dog a steak just for your dog, I feel like you really should. Giving your dog a hamburger or a slice of pizza is one thing, but you should cook a steak for your dog. Your dog will love you. Your dog might love you anyways, but you know. So yeah, the title of this, and if y'all have any other topics or things that's going on, I prefer not to ramble about my own life for 30 minutes. But topic of this video, prepping where do I go from here, is because I'm sort of at an impasse. I'm a little busier than I used to be, kind of a lot busier than I used to be, but I have some resources, a little bit of time, a little bit of money. So I'm sort of trying to figure out what's I have a rough idea of what's important for prepping. You want to have some sustainability, you want to have some reserves, whether it's water, ammunition, food, toiletries. But I just don't really I don't feel like I'm getting pulled in one direction strong enough. Like I'm not super crazy about buying 100 guns, or it might be nice to stock up on a little bit of ammo since California seems to be trying as hard as they possibly can to, do a background check when you get a fucking paper target. Pardon my French, but you know, someday they're going to try to pass a law that, you can't buy anything related to a firearm. You can't buy a magazine about firearms without a background check. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Maybe we should just have background checks before people are allowed out of their houses. Like, you can't leave your house until you have a background check, and you can't walk in our neighborhood until you have a background check. And that's great that you have a background check in your city, but you have to actually get a background check in our city to walk through our city. I mean, could you like this lunacy if it keeps going with checks and waiting periods? And I don't know when California became a gun hating state. We used to have gun clubs in high schools, and shooting used to be a lot more of an American pastime, but then they push everyone into the city and they say work, work, work. Acer, I saw your comment, by the way. Um, yeah, my bug out bag could definitely use a little bit of attention. Maybe I'll do a video on that one of these days and kind of update it. It's not a very advanced bug out bag. I have even putting some better food in might be nice, but I definitely plan on doing a little bit of camping this winter. Um, maybe even in some not super great weather, but it's also nice because typically in winter it's not fire season, so the restrictions, the Angeles National Forest. Is it this way? I think it's this way. Anyways, um, kind of all around here. The Angeles National Forest has pretty severe fire restrictions in the summer, so it's a little bit difficult to. I mean, at some point they're like, no fire, no stove, like you're eating cold macaroni or something. So Acer, to get back to the comments here, Acer said be debt free in 6 months. I'm basically debt free. I owe a little bit of money to the state tax board, but nothing too consequential. Don't have any credit card, don't have any credit card debt, vehicle debt, student loan debt. I don't own a house. It's funny. I want to go debt free so I can buy a house. Isn't that funny? But the way I'm looking at living expenses is, or like rent, room and board expenses, is you gotta go either one or the other sides of the spectrum. Where the hell's my chat? You either live in your car and you go super, super budget, or you should buy a house. I don't believe in renting long term. You really don't get much from it. Yes, there's a lot to be said for being debt free and not having money in a house, but Acer, just out of curiosity, what do you think about buying a house versus renting versus living in a car? We all got to live somewhere. We don't have to pay to live somewhere, but we do all have to live somewhere. Uncle Al said, "Die Bullfrog." For those of you who don't know his top secret identity, bug out bag, 2 weeks of food and ammo. Yeah, honestly, my biggest problem right now would probably be if I was gonna, if bugging out, which I still sort of don't consider a very desirable option in general. Kind of like a last case scenario. Would I bug out by car with my bicycle with a trailer? I can put a backpack on my back. I actually don't have do I have a shoulder sling for any of my rifles or firearms? I don't think I do. I don't have a shoulder sling for my shotgun. I don't have a shoulder sling for my rifle. And of course, the problem in California is you can't open carry. So that's, a lot of times um, if you're going to bug out, uh, I can't open carry a shotgun down the street while I'm bugging out unless the rule of law is like far gone. It can't just be like, oh, there's an earthquake. I'm going to bug out with my shotgun on my shoulder. The first cop that sees you is going to be like, bro, you can't. Is going to point their gun at you and say, get on the ground. And you're going to be arrested for brandishing a firearm in public, among other things. You know. So open carrying firearms is really not. In fact, speaking of carrying firearms, I really wonder what the rule is carrying firearms in a bicycle trailer. I think you can transport. Most people don't transport firearms on their person. You could, like, let's say I lived in an apartment, but I didn't own a car, and I wanted to go to Big Five and buy a shotgun. Could I carry a shotgun box in my arms all the way from Big Five to my apartment on foot? You know, I think you could because you're not brandishing it. But anyways, that's why I try not to deal with stuff like that. Um, so yeah, for me, it's not so much about having the bug out preps. It's about being able to move myself with it. Obviously, I have the car, but I don't even think bugging out a car unless you had to is necessarily a great idea. I hate to leave my car somewhere, but all right, I got to put this on. I can't. It oh, irks me to no end. This stupid zipper. All right, let me make sure I'm getting all these comments here. I live, live, dogs, bug out bag, 2 weeks of food, ammo. Uncle Al is trapped in the house. Is he? Oh, without the car, you mean? You have a bicycle, Uncle Al? I think you should have a bicycle as part of your bug out plan. Maybe a trike, like our friend. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. I want to say Catherine, our friend with a bicycle, the trike. You're not trapped, Uncle Al. I know. Well, I mean, see, I would come pick you up and try to save you, Uncle Al, in an emergency. But the problem is, we wouldn't have any way to contact each other because I don't have a ham radio. I have a VHF, UHF radio, but it's not going to go all the way up to where you live. So I don't know. What we really need is, I feel like, even in the prepper community, we would be kind of cool to have like a YouTube slash like ham radio chat, right? So I know someone in San Diego with a ham radio. I know Uncle Al is up kind of in Central California, maybe Southern Central California. So it'd be kind of neat to be able to connect the dots of people that we knew with ham radio, but man, I just don't have I have hundreds of dollars to throw at a ham radio, but I'm not that passionate about it right now. Where have I been hiding? I've been hiding at work, man, hiding in plain sight. I work 10 hours a day on average, 5 and 11 days every 2 weeks, so every other Saturday. And I work at a cool company, I think, so I'm not like bitter about it, but I just work a bit, so not always don't always have the energy to jump on a live stream. The bug out food, pretty much almost everything that's been sent to me in a care package has been eaten, put in my 2-week food storage, which is in my rolling suitcase right now. And believe it or not, a full size rolling luggage case holds a lot of food. A lot of food, especially I'm not talking about like crackers and chips and stuff like that, but I mean if you fill it with like beans and canned meats and stuff, decent amount of decent amount of calories you can put in a roll away or roll on luggage. And also, you could kind of ad hoc the luggage into a trailer for a bicycle. So if all you had was a backpack and roll behind luggage, you could bring some amount of stuff with you. One of our secret prepping friends is building a bicycle trailer, a bug out bicycle trailer, and I think that's a really cool idea. I think it's a really underrated market, to be honest, bicycle trailers in general, but especially bug out bicycle trailers. So if any of you had a lot of spare time on your hand, you want to make a buck, look into building bug out bicycle trailers. Issues in California derive from two questions. Who exactly are they and how much do they control? Well, I would say they are people and government and people that have enough money to influence the way of the world, you know. Big business, big government. California has big government. I don't know if all the states have big government, but California has organizations for everything. They want to take our money constantly, every form of tax. And a lot of my prepper friends are going to say, well, why don't you just move out of California? And believe me, it's something I think about. Work for a pretty neat company right now. The company I work for does actually have offices in different states, but you know, I don't know. I have a stable life here. If I had a really fantastic job opportunity in another state, maybe I would, but I don't at the moment. So Acer's talking about houses. I had a house, paid it off by 40. Yeah, I don't think my chances of that are very good, but that's okay. Bought the first, then built and sold. So built, like bought a piece of land and built a house? That's pretty crazy. Times three, never raised the dollar amount from the first mortgage. So when you got mortgages for like land and building expenses, you never went into debt by more than your first mortgage was worth. So God forbid something happened, you could sell your first house to deal with the issues on the second house. Is that how I'm understanding that? 2 weeks of water. So I am increasing my water. I'm buying about a couple gallons a week. Old man, I know. I have a pretty cool job here, old man, and staying in LA, building okay, so we have two worlds, right? We have the bug out world, shit goes to hell, and we have the normal world, shit's going to hell anyways. Shit's going to hell either way. I guess the only question is how fast and how bad, right? Um, looking at Venezuela, I talk about it a lot. They're starving. Most of them are hungry and or starving. Maybe not every day, maybe not every minute of the day, but more often than not, they're hungry down there. But society is still kind of operating. There's looting, there might be more crime, but it hasn't completely broken down. It's slowly breaking down. That's kind of what I see. If America ever goes to hell in a handbasket, and it would take a lot of acts for it to go that way in a long-term level, as opposed to Hurricane Michael temporary level. I see it being a slow decline personally. So, is being in California helpful for pigeons? Signal mirror and pigeons. Yeah, right. So is staying in LA helpful for me bugging out? In the sense that I could buy a piece of land and live in an RV, maybe somewhere, even in California, possibly. Um, is being in California helping me prep better? Not really. But it's helping me in my non shit hits the fan life a lot. I'm building my resume pretty extensively right now. So you got to weigh both worlds. You can't put 100% of your energy into the everything's going to be perfect world, and you can't put 100% of your energy into everything's going to go to crap tomorrow world. You got to balance the two. So right now I'm in LA because the benefit to the non bug out world is greater than the cost, I think, to the bug out world. That's kind of the way I look at it, anyways. Hi, Hooples. How are you doing, Hooples? I'm feeling a lot better, in case you're wondering. How's Hooples? How's your bug out cabin going? How's your bug out construction thing? And you're probably gonna say, "Well, check the videos on my channel," and that's fair. I'll be honest, I haven't had a lot of time to watch pretty much any of my subscribers' videos, so I can assure you it's nothing personal. Maybe tomorrow I'll spend some time watching some of my subs videos a little bit, but in fact, let's see if we can sneak on Hoople's channels real quick. Oh, not Hooples. Wrong Hooples. I don't even know what Hooples means. What the hell is Hoople? Nonsensical word. Getting a lot of results in PHP. What is .php? Not the Philippines. That's PH, I think. Hypertext precursor. Oh, it has nothing to do with the country of origin. All right, well, I'll have to check back in on Hoople's channel. Wow, your production value is going up. Look at these JPEGs, Hooples. Look at all these nice JPEGs you put together. All right, anyways. Migration to northeastern Washington. Washington's not bad. Rain's a little bit much for me, but not bad. California serfdom. Yeah, no kidding, right? Indeed, it's its own country. Is there really? Died Bullfrog. If you squat in a house and pay property taxes for 2 years, I think you can get ownership. The only problem is you have to be physically there and pay property taxes for 2 years, and you're trespassing. Now, I think the owner has to be there. I think to kind of push the trespassing thing, because if it's kind of shaky, right? California sheriff and law authorities are sort of, if you see someone tromping on your land and you're right there, say, hey, don't get out, and they don't get out, they're trespassing, right? But if you see someone camped out on your land and they've been there for a week, it kind of gets screwed up in California. Billy Bird, what have you been up to? You know what I would think would be really cool and a little bit probably more trouble than it's worth is flying into work. There's an airport right next to where I work, a small airport. So, if I had like a cool little plane, live in Visalia, fly over to work in LA, fly home every night, I think that'd be kind of cool. Building a house, that's pretty intense. Nice hooples, chatting to the builder, costing everything. Man, I don't have the. That's a big deal. I'm not sure I'm following the cat that smothered people when they were asleep. It's like a Pet Cemetery thing, but rap music. I sometimes listen to rap music, Billy Bird. Not all the time though. Mini Me? Who is Mini Me? Everything you gain from 30 years, Hoople. Well, hopefully it doesn't cost everything you gain. Uncle L, are you learning to fly? Or you're saying I should get connected with your friend learning to fly? Hey, if your buddy wants to take me up for a ride in his crop duster, I'm down. I'm actually planning on. My folks were nice enough to offer me a graduation present for finishing college, and I told them I wanted a couple hours of flight training. I just need to find a school. Yeah, I would say I'm working on it, but I'm not very aggressively. I just want to find a school that's kind of close, that's not going to cost me an arm and a leg to do the thing. And I want to kind of figure out a schedule of how many hours I want to do. It's about 20 hours minimum to get your light. I think, well, 20 for a private, or it's 40 for a private, 20 for a light sport. Uh, and to be honest, to fly an ultralight, you don't even really need a light sport endorsement, but most sort of the minimum a lot of people think about when trying to fly an ultralight is getting enough training to where you can solo on your own. Why can't I just look at the PDF? I don't want to download the PDF. I swear. Sorry, I'm trying to see how many hours. This is not what I'm looking for. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But yes, LA Prepper is going to be a pilot someday, and hopefully that someday is a lot sooner than, you know, 10 years from now. Yeah, I could enlist in the Guard. I don't think I could be an officer in the Guard. I'm getting a little bit old. Okay, so actually 42 is the max age to join. But you have to be 35 if you want to join as an officer. Not that I would have to be an officer, but a neck massage. I probably could use massage. I I work with my hands and arms and lifting and moving stuff all day. Believe me, Hooples, military joining the military has been something that has sort of been a maybe for me for a long time. I don't think it's a good fit for me personally, but who knows? I'm not 42 yet, so really hunting, shooting. I went to school as an engineer, hunting, shooting. What do you think about flat Earth people? Come on, man. I ain't wasting my time talking about that bullshit. Oh, see ya, Uncle Al. So, aside from a bug out bag and 2 weeks worth of food, no one's really given me any good advice on what I should do regarding prepping, what I should focus on in my future preps. Oh, Hooples, I miss your sense of humor, Hooples. That's really funny. That's I don't know if that's like a double entendre or a metaphor, but that's some clever language stuff. I will time you out hunting and shooting. You keep this flat Earth crap up. Don't put me past it. I've timed out people for less. Cough, cough. By the way, I'm gonna give you a public service announcement. Always keep your EDC on you, especially a self-defense weapon. Doesn't have to be a gun. Could be a knife, a staff, taser. It's just my advice for you today. Paul, tip of the day is that's I like that Billy Bird. Coffee doesn't last that long. I wouldn't do coffee personally because in a few months coffee gets really stale. Now, granted, coffee, even stale coffee, people will want. So yeah, you could do it, but it just after a few months, even if it's not ground, unless you have a freezer, coffee's going to go bad. I like things that won't go bad. Sugar's not a bad one. Salt, maybe spices. Um, yeah, at least some snare wire. Um, Snare wire would be a really good one to add to my bug up bag, old man. You're right. Oh, one thing I really need to get. Yeah, vacuum pack lasts a little longer. Oh, excuse me. I have a vacuum sealer too. I could vacuum seal it myself. One thing I really want to get into this winter though is a little bit of camping and hunting. In fact, I should text my only other person I know in fucking LA that has a interest in hunting and get some trips going. I would never text while live stream, but I know I'm gonna forget if I don't text this guy right now. And I wish there were more sort of hunting clubs in our area, but there just isn't. There's one, and it meets like every evening, or like not every evening, but every other week in the evening. So it's kind of a really awful, um, bad timing. All right. Oh, you are the one that sailed around the planet hunting. That's right. Oh, little stale, unlike Listall. Well, hunting, I haven't sailed around the world myself. Um, I don't want this. If you're serious about this, then it looks like you are hunting. I don't want it to drive a wedge between us because I still have so much to learn from you about sailing around the world or sailing across the world or however that works. But oh, see you later, Hooples. Thanks for coming by. But Tamiflu and potassium iodide, yeah, I don't have any potassium iodide. That is a good tip for sure. Um, yeah, so I guess I just need to buy more food, buy more preps. That's prepping is sort of. I feel like it. There's not a lot of originality in prepping. People might have a different way to can something, or I don't know. I want to get into like kind of homesteading type stuff, like growing stuff and distilling my own alcohol and things like that. But repairing, I don't know, repairing old stuff. See ya, Will. But that's why the house to me is so important because just having some space or even land. If I had some land, if I could get a couple acres around here and do something productive on it, the only problem is it'd be far away from me. So, would you drive if you could buy land but it was 3 hours away from you? That's really not convenient. You can't keep it that secure. You can't keep stuff on it that secure. I mean, even if you put a container out there, um, yeah, I have a ferro rod. I don't have any fat wood. I mean, people have like orgasms over fat wood. Like, oh, like they'll do a video and like, look at all this fat wood. Oh my god, it looks so good. Like if you have a Bic lighter, you could carry like a little tin of gasoline and a T-shirt with you, and you like basically have as decent a chance of starting a fire. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to put some fat wood on your kit. I just think it's kind of funny. It's like it's one of those prepper things that people get all. Oh, what's up, Steve? Uh, Fat wood is one of those prepper things like bug out bags and flint and steels. Preppers will make a video about how to start a fire with flint and steel, but they won't make a video about how to start a fire with what 9-volt battery and steel wool. Yeah, a good one. I actually don't have any steel wool at my house, believe it or not. I should put some in my bug out kit though. What's up, RG? I keep losing people and gaining people. Can't get past 8 viewers, but I've been slacking. I've been slacking on making videos. I've been slacking on community involvement. Um, 5 years is a lot of fires. Imagine if you could like sell fire during shit hits the fan. Like just sell somebody some hot embers. Just be a fireman. Sell people pieces of fire. You laugh. You might laugh. If the world gets that crazy, maybe I'll open up a prepper school. Teach people how to build shelters and start fires and skin animals. Things that I might know how to do. I wish I learned more stuff in the Boy Scouts. I don't know what I learned in the Boy Scouts. I learned that controlling boys is a pain in the ass when you're not their dad and they don't see you as an authority figure. It's a little bit tricky. You can't always use the authoritative model. Sometimes you have to use the inspirational model of leadership. In the Middle Ages, it was a business. Interesting. Did not know that. Yeah, we did, Mark. It was thunder and lightning outside my work at lunch. And when I say lunch, I mean 8 o'clock yesterday. I went outside and it was raining. I was like, "What the hell is this?" It was very unexpected. What did you soak it in, old man? Gasoline, chip, chips, and soaked it for 3 days. Or do you mean water? You wouldn't soak it in water. That would be a little weird, I think. Oil? Why'd you soak it in water? Genuinely curious. Why do you soak fat wood in water? I gotta Google this now. Arizona. Yeah, we are kind of getting into the monsoon season in Arizona. Man, I have work today at 3, and I woke up at 11, and it's so hard to be productive when you only have like 2 or 3 hours of stuff to do. It's not really enough time to kind of get into anything. It's the only thing I don't like about night shift is that it's just, I mean, you have time to like run errands and stuff, but I don't have that many errands to run. I have a very simple life. I pay all my bills online. I go shopping once a week. I get the rest of my food at work. Um, my life is unimaginably uninteresting right now, aside from the work that I do, which is kind of cool. Um, I can't imagine why you'd want to soak it. If anything, I would soak it in kerosene or diesel or some type of fuel, or maybe hot wax covered fat wood. Not at the moment, Mark. I think to take the PE test, you have to have or to be licensed. I think you need a few years as an engineer. So I am working towards being an engineer. I'm at a company that has a lot of engineers. Um, a lot of the positions at my company want you to have at least a year of hands-on manufacturing experience, or all these stupid clubs in college that I never did, Baja, Formula. I swear, I never realized how much engineering schools really wanted that, or engineering jobs really wanted that stuff. Maybe I would have done it, um, but yeah. So I'm not an engineer. I'm not working as an engineer right now. I'm working as a manufacturing person. See ya, Acer. Thanks for coming by. But I am looking towards the future. Now, granted, I could just keep putting out applications and take a job somewhere else, but I'm at a company that I would kind of like to stick around if I can. It's because of my job hunting, because I have a good job at a good company, or at least a decent job at a pretty decent company. The company might be better than the job, but that's okay. No, it's a pretty cool job. Um, I get to build some high tech stuff, not electronic stuff, but like aerospace stuff. So job's basically the main reason I'm still in California. Um, the more experience that I have in this field, the easier it's going to be to move somewhere else. Right now I barely have 5 months of experience in aerospace. That's not really enough to pick up and go somewhere else. Yes, I have the degree, but you got to keep in mind, I'm, you know, I moved up to a different level of tank, so maybe there's less fish in the have a master's degree tank than there is in the have a bachelor degree tank, but there's a lot of engineers out there, and a lot of them with experience, a lot of them with better experience than me, more skills, better GPAs, et cetera, right? So, um, mostly, I mostly believe we went to the moon. Yes, hunting. Um, I work for a company that launches stuff into space. If you believe that, so if we're not launching stuff into space, it's a hell of a scam. But we're launching stuff somewhere. You know, maybe we're launching it into the flat universe. But if space isn't real and we're not launching stuff into space, then I guess I'm getting paid for doing nothing, or for launching fake things into nothingness. So, but we all live in a hologram anyways, right? So I'd rather have a job in a hologram than not have a job. I mean, even if you're homeless, if it's a hologram and you're homeless, you're still homeless in the hologram. So still sucks, right? Being homeless in a hologram isn't better than being homeless in real life. I suppose because they have to orbit the planet hunting. Um, I can see this. I can see we're not going to be on the same page with our views of the universe, but that's all right. I mean, if you want to take a rock and swing it around your head, you know, That's kind of why the rockets have to go horizontal. You can't just go up forever because if you're not in orbit, eventually, um, gravity's going to get you. I think we have some engineers at my company, Mark, that fly in. I don't know if I would want to work at Tesla. I don't think you were saying that, but tiny helicopter. It's pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of helicopters, although they can certainly auto gyrate as much as a plane glides. In fact, auto gyrating, the landing area takes a lot less space than a plane does. You could auto gyrate into a parking lot. You can't land a plane into a small parking lot. So unless maybe you have an ultralight and you're a pretty damn good pilot. All right, Hunting. I get your point, Hunting, but it's I'm just not a flat earther. Some people believe in God, some people don't. Some people believe we've been to the moon, some people don't. But you're gonna have to let it go, Hunting. It's not something I'll be easily swayed of. Now, whether or not we went to the moon, I think that's a lot more interesting. Do I think that at the time we went to the moon that Hollywood could have produced something that made it look like we went to the moon? Absolutely. But I still think we went to the moon. As to whether or not you can launch a helicopter from your house, I have no idea. Yeah, but the Bible said I'm not going to talk about religion. Um, Bible doesn't really believe in history the way I read it. The Bible's kind of a recent story, not really a story that covers the entirety of our existence, in my opinion. But I'm not deeply religious, which is why I don't really talk about religion a lot. I believe that there's more out there than what we can see and experience, but you know, I don't I don't feel strongly enough about any one direction in that arena. So what are y'all working on? Are any of you working on any interesting projects? I know Old Man is talking about doing some Fatwood stuff. Um, but I always want to know what my subs are doing. I know Hooples is working on building a house and going broke. Poor guy. What are y'all doing? You gonna hunt? You camping? You don't need a microprocessor to do computations. You just need a lot bigger computer. Computers were a lot bigger and heavier that then. 6 deer. Oh, shot a deer 6 days. I thought you shot 6 deer days ago. I'm like, damn. I don't think the limit is 6 deer. Um, Making a pressurized suit for a vacuum is not the hardest thing in the world. Pomona. Where's Pomona? No shit. Look that up, man. Of course, they're gonna have a million things that I don't need for my vehicle. Off-road expo. No, it can't be September. September 29th and 30th? No. Well, there was an off-road expo in Pomona. um, Here, if you're Mark, you're a moderator. If you want to post a link, 8-point deer, one shot to the head. Wow, 22 caliber air rifle. There's a lot of people who don't hunt. It's funny on the internet, people that don't do what you do will tell you you can't do it. Somebody told me something similar about that in life, that people who don't do what you do will tell you you can't do it. But Yeah, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you can't hunt a deer with a 22. It's not humane. It's not going to kill it." Blah blah blah. But people do. People have hunted with 22s for maybe not hundreds of years, but a long time, very long time. I'm working on being at work. Hey, I feel you, Judy. I got to be at work in 2 hours. In fact, I have to kind of leave my house in, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, some amount of time. Um, I maybe California does, but I don't know if he. I don't think he lives in California. I think it has to be center point, a center fire rifle or round. It doesn't have to be a rifle. It has to be a round. But yeah, I believe California there are some limitations on that. Thank you, old man. You were trying to figure out if Fatwood would work if it got wet. Awesome. That makes sense. Air guns. Yeah. Air guns are really underrated in the prepper community. They require the ammo is stupendously cheaper. It's a lot less maintenance on the firearm because, you don't have all that filthy gunpowder and stuff. Um, the reload time's a little bit slower, but I wouldn't necessarily hunt a bear with one. Um, oh, you have some property. Very cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd agree with me hunt and shooting, but yeah, air guns they make them in more powerful calibers too. I don't know what the most powerful air gun that's like commercially on the market is, but I don't know if I want to go for a bear, but yeah, deer are smaller, the air gun, the good shot, mind you. You shoot a deer in the leg with a 22, it might run off 2 miles or 5 miles or however far it wants to go. So that sounds awesome, Mark. I'm not good enough with a bow to hunt hogs, but that sounds really awesome. Unsociable? No, I'm just comfortable. My legs are up, so it's just a comfortable position for me. But I get you on the body language stuff. No, I'm. How can I'm live streaming? How unsociable can I be when I'm live streaming, right? 10 rounds, 50 cal. That's insane. 9 millimeter air gun. Ooh, look up a 9 millimeter air gun. That's intense. That is pretty intense. How is raccoon and possum? I can imagine. I've had a little bit of deer. I've had wild hog actually. That we had it at our work. Crazy enough, somebody brought some wild hog in. Or not somebody. The chefs procured some game meat. I don't know how. I don't know if they bought it in California because I don't think you can. Excuse me. I thought there were limits on game meat in California. Billy Bird. Any other day, I might be more amused with that, but I've had. I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah. Let's don't objectify me. I know you're just kidding, and I know it's not that big of a deal, and I shouldn't be that sensitive. But like, if a woman was doing a live stream and a guy watching was like, "Do something sexy for us," come on, Billy. If you're lonely, Billy, then go out, put on some clothes, put on some makeup or not, and go out and meet a romantic partner. Go do something fun tonight. I'm working till 12:30. I don't really feel like going out the bars to the night, but you know, and it wouldn't. It honestly, it's like the only night that I have to go out to the bars because I work till 2:30 every other night. In California, bars close at 2. So Saturday night is really the only night I could ever go out, but it's the end of a week when I work 6 days, so it's like the night I least want to go out. But anyways, uh oh, squirrel is great. It's funny you mentioned that because I was talking with my coworker about hunting, and he's like, "Man, what you want? What would you want to hunt?" I was like, "I don't know, squirrel, coyote, turkey." I was just kind of like listing different animals, hog, and he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't shoot a squirrel." And I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of understand that, but you know, all animals are cute to somebody." We have lots of black bears, but I doubt they care if I have makeup on or not. Theoretically, there's a lot of hogs up here in California. I never see them, but they're out there somewhere in the forest digging up stuff. Because like nobody hunts them. They're not. There are hunters in California, but there isn't like a gross amount of hunters. Every year during turkey and deer season, the hunters that kind of hunt regularly go out. But yeah, the I think our hog populations are growing. That's why I would love to. I'd love to do stuff like shoot hog and like give beef jerky to homeless shelters, stuff like that. Find a place that could dry meats, find a butcher that would butcher the pig. A lot of butchers won't touch wild pigs. Has to be like certain butchers. Um, so I would love to just like shoot a bunch of pigs and give all the meat to the homeless. Something I might eat a little bit of myself, maybe keep some loins or something, but I don't know if I need a whole damn pig. I don't. I barely have enough room in my freezer for a whole pig, to be honest. If I butchered a 80-pound boar or cow or sow, I think. Yeah. Now there must be a lot more than I've met. I've gotta make some friends with some of them. I really need to get out there. I could go hunting next weekend if I bought my license this Sunday. I could. I really could. Bear eating avocados. That's funny. Billy, you are probably right. You're probably right. Somehow killing pigs is racist, I'm sure. And I'm white, so everything I do is racist. You forgot that. That's the most important part. Everything I do is racist. Even saying racist is racist. I'm sure you did hunting. And none of your classmates thought it was weird. Nobody thought you were going to shoot at the school. Nobody thought you were a psycho. You're just a guy with a shotgun. Why would you need a shotgun? Because why would you need anything? Why would you need a knife? Why would you need a car? Why would you need to learn karate? It doesn't always have to be a need when it's a right. Yeah, well, not anymore hunting. Not anymore in California, sadly. Different world. At least in our state. Other states are kind of going that way too. A lot of people like take Oregon as an example of a more gun-friendly state, but in the city of Portland, you can't open carry a firearm. So, like the city is the place where you're most likely to get jumped. All right, I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes, people, and then I got to start getting ready for work. I've seen those videos, Mark. I've seen those videos. Look, the bottom line is when you're hunting a pig with a rifle, pig ain't got no chance. Doesn't have a chance. No animal has a real decent chance against a rifle. So let's just put that on the table. It does seem a little less. This is what I think about sport and hunting. If you're pursuing an animal, either on a vehicle or off a vehicle, but you're actively pursuing it, it's something kind of like hunting. Okay. If you're standing in a blind or a stand and you're just throwing corn out and the hogs just come and eat the corn every day and you just shoot a pig just eating corn right there, they can't really resist. Like they really can't resist. I would never shoot a pig from a stand like that. I want to go hunt a pig in the wild. Um, my opinion, anyways. Looks like a lot of fun, though. I'm gonna admit. Would I want to hunt pigs? I don't think you. I personally don't think I would be a good enough shot from a helicopter. Helicopters kind of move around, even if you're a decent pilot. Um, I'm sure that's part of the challenge, but you're probably going to wound the pig before you kill it. Just my opinion. Yeah, I know. Those are the good old days hunting. Hunted hog with a sawed-off shotgun and 44 caliber pistols. That's gangster. That's so gangster. I love it. Now that's a good old pastime. That is an all-American pastime, if you ask me. But now you're a felon. You start cutting off your shotgun, cutting off your barrel. You know how to be a felon in 5 minutes with a hacksaw. Sad, sad times. All right, people. I gotta take off. Even though I only have to be at work till 3. Traffic and other bullshit. Um, no, I would not try to go hand to hand with a pig. Maybe a spear, worst case, but not with those razor sharp. Not with those razor sharp tusks. I'm not that. I'm not that hardcore. But anyways, thanks for stopping by, y'all. Shotgun blinds them. 8 pistol kills them. Not the shotgun blinds them. 8 pistol. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, y'all. Appreciate it. Promise we're gonna have some more interesting stuff in the future. We're gonna see if LA Prepper can hunt, knows how to camp, go to walk around in the rain, maybe start fires in the rain. That would be a really good one. Um, till next time, like, comment, subscribe, keep prepping, and I'll see you around.